All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down, do a quick Q&A for you guys and gals before we get breakfast in. All right, I want to wait till afternoon. It's about 15 till, so I'm like, I'll come in and get it at least, probably more than 15. I'll do at least 30 minutes here, unless it's super, super slow, in which case we'll save the time for the afternoon, whatever we do for current events. But that aside, I thought I'd get in, do one of these with you guys, because we always get some good views in here. And again, live streams really are a lot of what I'm doing with this channel at the moment. It'd be nice if of course I could get the live streams to work again on Facebook, but I guess I overdid them. So they don't want me doing any for a bit. But to be fair, it was like 3 hours a day in there for a couple of weeks. Thoughts on Trump administration getting SNAP and EBT at the end of the month because of shutdown? I don't know that it's really the administration. It's the whole fight between both parties and people wanting to throw stuff in the budget. Honestly, both parties need to work on fixing the budget. They've got to balance the budget. They got to balance the budget. And I think that's a bad thing for impoverished families. I don't personally know anybody, to my knowledge, currently on either one, but I have known people in the past and stuff. But I feel like I know that here in my local community, there's stuff with some of the churches and other people who are going to help poor families with it. Who have kids and stuff. I get it. Like if they got kids, I totally understand. But I mean, otherwise, bro, y'all got to get out and just figure out income, man. It's just the way it is. But I don't have a lot of thoughts on it. We have a budget issue. We have a major budget issue in this country. But Trill says, hey, Jason, hope all is well. Hey, man, all just in flow, brother. All flowing along. Good workout overall today, though. I did feel a little tired during it, but we got it done. So, and lots of delt work, and that's the main thing. I'm going to keep hammering that delt work. You keep saying that alcohol is really bad, but if that's true, why do I stop shaking? Hey, Jacob. Hey, dude, Jacob. I know you might be trying to troll, but I am like militantly anti-alcohol. If like you're coming in here trying to be pro-alcohol, I will remove your ability to chat on any of my stuff. I'm not trying to be a dick, but just be aware of how serious I take the topic. Like it's not a source of amusement. It's not funny to me. It's not something that I can joke about really at this point. I'm sorry, I've just seen way too much negative stuff. Like I have a seething hatred of alcohol. Like I literally am disgusted by it and I hate it. Makes sense? So that would be the equivalent of you coming into, say, a stream of, say, a devout Christian talking about worshiping Satan. Expect about the same level of response. Like it's not even funny, dude. I'm going to say, here's the thing, man. I'm going to answer it like you're not trolling. I think that you need to get into Alcoholics Anonymous today. So if this is your thing and you're shaking, you're an alcoholic. And I'm just going to call it like it is, brother. You need to get into a self-help program if it's that bad, right? You need to get help for it. Cool. So let's not troll about something of that degree of seriousness. Like, dude, there's stuff you shouldn't really troll about, man. And that's kind of up there for me. But notice I was super chill about it. But I almost downplay how much I hate alcohol, right? I downplay it on here. And as crazy as that sounds, that puts in perspective how serious I am in my just absolute hatred of alcohol at this point in my life. I downplay it. Like you want honest answer, like totally honest answer, like not downplaying it. I think we should publicly execute everyone who manufactures it right there on national television. Back of the head. That's me not downplaying it. That's me being dead serious. Yeah. It's a super sore spot. Not only am I coming up on my 7th year sober, so many people that I know and care about have been hurt or killed by drunk drivers. You know what I mean, bro? What about their families? I mean, did we worry about the families of whatever crimes against humanity when we've executed people in the past? Luke? So that would be my response. I mean, obviously their families are not to blame. No, I don't mean that. I mean, what about including? Um, no, not necessarily. No, it's different when we were talking about balancing the budget type thing, but we're talking about manufacturing of deadly substance like alcohol. I mean, we don't punish meth manufacturers' children, do we? Right? You know. So that's a little different. The whole point with when we make that conversation about a blood democracy with balancing the budget is because we wouldn't actually have to do it. Like if our Congress in the U.S. knew that that was a consequence, there's zero chance we would be a day late with the budget. Dude, they would have that budget a month early, balanced all the time. Like it wouldn't even be to the last minute debate. No, dude, it would straight up be, oh, we're 30 days due. We already got it sorted. Here you go, guys. 100% chance. There's no way it would even get within 30 days. It would never, ever, ever happen. Because if they knew the consequence that, what we talked about with a blood democracy for not balancing the budget, the deterrent would be so insanely high, no politician would dare let it get within 30 days of being due. They wouldn't even let it get that far. They'd be like, how about the first week of Congress every year, we just pass it and get it balanced so that we don't even got to worry about it in 9 or 10 months. Yay, we and our families are safe. Done. Right? There'd be no probability. No one would play politics. No one would cater to it. It would be sorted. Problem solved. So that was a totally different topic. When I've made the statements about the blood democracy, that wasn't even my idea. I got that from someone else. Right? It'd be interesting if Trump tried to pull a direct except with public bounty on alcohol manufacturers. I know it's infeasible legally right now, but I bet it. I don't think that there would be the public cry for it. So when I say that this is what I would do, that doesn't mean it's ever going to happen because no one person is going to be given that sort of power, right? We're at that point talking, being elected God Emperor of mankind, which will never happen. No type of system like that is going to exist in any of our lifetimes politically. It will never happen. So therefore, there's no concern of Jason Blaha calling for this to occur because neither I nor anyone else is going to be made into God Emperor of mankind unless we discover a golden throne to Terra anytime soon. So it's not really a valid concern. People say, you would. It's like, well, I would, but it's never going to happen. I am never even going to be the mayor of a city, let alone God Emperor of mankind or president of the United States. Pretty unlikely. Watch me become a mayor of a city now. I got to watch when I say stuff like that. Crazy stuff happens. Is 40K your favorite fictional? I don't know, not necessarily. I do think it's a great, but it's not 40K. It's the Warhammer universe. Yeah, it's not specific to 40K. I'm a bigger fan of the whole fantasy version more than the 40K. Keep in mind, these are slightly different but close universes. Although I think maybe not. I think the fantasy was stuck on one planet in the 40K universe. So for sure, it's definitely a valid hypothetical, though, man. If you were God Emperor of mankind, I would love to see what would happen to non-FDA approved drug industry case supplements, right? Genghis Khan and King George V came close, right? Genghis Khan got pretty dang close, all things considered, especially considering the technology of the time. Dude, he took over a lot of stuff, right? Genghis Khan got pretty dang far. For those who are unaware, go read up on this, a little bit of history. What Genghis did in a lifetime is absolutely freaking insane. And keeping in mind the technology level, this is way pre-industrial. how vast of an empire did he build through sheer force? On horses and elephants, mind you. Thousands and thousands of miles. Like, what? He oversaw what, like 3/4 of the global population at one point because of a huge amount of the world lived within the vast Eurasian expanse. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure of that exact number, but that could be accurate, Luke. That's just absolutely ludicrous. Hit that like button, by the way, though, guys. Get those likes up. So, and how much did he change the world? I mean, let's think about one individual who in the pre-industrial world changed the entire course of human history. Because think of the size of empire that he built and expanded, and then the historical changes and cultural shifts thereafter. I mean, whether we could argue whether it was for better or for worse, I don't know. I don't know that we can say that. We have no way to say that. But one individual, one man, before modern technology, changed the entire course of human history to that degree. After we were already expanded across multiple continents. It's one thing to change a course and there's only 3,000 people, you know. Oh, Luke, for you as a medical and biology background, the arguments I get from people on that, when they talk about whatever carnivore diets and they talk about the last glacial period. And I put up a stats and I just deleted it because one of my regulars started arguing. He's like, no, there were humans all through Europe. It's documented. I'm like, there weren't. Humans went extinct in 3/4 of Europe. There was regional extinction during the last ice age. So they'll say stupid stuff like, well, then what did you think they ate? They had to eat meat. I'm like, their meat all died. There was no meat. Their meat didn't have enough plants to eat. It all died. It's like, so when you look at the records, anything north of about the Iberian Peninsula, anything north of about Italy or Greece, there were no humans for tens of thousands of years. There were zero, not any that we could tell. We went extinct in that region. So they're like, well, they had to be eating mammoths. I'm like, no, they didn't eat it all. They were dead. We went extinct in that area. So people are insane. Like we're pretty sure that the human population capped out at around 10,000 people at that point globally. Hey, Jacob, do you know how hard it is to hunt mammoths? Like, you are aware, no anthropologist believed that any tribe of humans sustained themselves on woolly mammoth, right? That's fiction. Yes, we know we ate them. But when we've looked at it, the amount of effort, and then when we see with the damage and stuff, the death toll is pretty high trying to take down mammoths, right? So it's not like it was an easy task. So we know that it probably took 20 to 30 humans to take down a mammoth using nets, spears, and it was fairly normal for serious bodily injuries were probably the norm, including broken bones, and an average of probably a death every time you took one down. So do the math on it. If you were trying to take one down every single month, half the men in your tribe would be dead from it. Yeah, and most likely they were already wounded. So, so we know that they hunted them, but it was a concerted effort. We're talking 20, 30 men organized to take down a mammoth. Now, of course, that is also silly with the 100 men versus a guerrilla stupidity, because 20 or 30 men were able to take down a woolly mammoth. Right? I don't know if it would taste more like a steak or a pork chop. I'm gonna hopefully go with steak. It's probably more closely related to beef type animals than it is to a pig. We're talking Homo sapiens, but Neanderthals also. Neanderthals would have taken them also. But so again, you're talking about taking down a mammoth, though. I mean, this was a mammoth task, really monumental task, like absolute team effort, based on what we've been able to figure out. And again, you're talking pretty serious injuries every time. Like they weren't taking down a grown mammoth without a few guys with some broken arms and legs, right? By the way, I figure I'm more clear with Genghis. 1 to 200 males appear to be direct descendants of him today based on chromosomal genes. What? That's crazy. What? Could Team Blaha take down a woolly mammoth successfully? Yeah, bro, because we got that firepower, right? All right. In all seriousness, 0.05% of the male population, right? I once saw a video of 80 orcas taking down a blue whale over 10 hours. Yep. Yeah, wear it down. They wear it down. Yeah. Oh. But yeah, so for context, Jacob, we didn't survive. So when people say, well, what did humans eat during these areas during the ice age? They didn't eat. They were gone. We had regional extinctions all over the world. Again, we need to be clear. How many humans do you think the population dwindled to during the last ice age? Globally, about 10,000 people. That's it. That was the entire human population that made it through. About 10,000. Right? I wonder how long it would take to hunt a woolly mammoth like that. Continue runs inflicting minimal damage. Probably reasonably quick. They would drag it down with nets and stuff and spears. It's a lot better reference times of human opulence and wealth luxury to look at their diet. And spoiler, none of them were carnivore, right, Luke? Right. YouTube putting random stuff in the stream. Well, it happens, bro. I'm a complete layman in the Ice Age. I basically know nothing about it. Right. Okay. Well, so and Luke raises a valid point too. Right. Luke raises a valid point too. We have the most muscle any time in history, do we? We're the biggest and strongest that humanity has ever been, as far as our species and then our pre-ancestors. Now, Neanderthals were pretty jacked, relative. Neanderthals were bigger and stronger than us, but we're talking untrained us versus untrained Neanderthal. We're not talking compared to modern bodybuilders and strength athletes. Context. But we're not directly descended from Neanderthal. Right? Genghis Khan and George Horseman, all right. Compared to like, hey, those people who suffered severely badly and dying, but only ate meat. Yeah, exactly. But they didn't actually do that. We don't have any records that suggest our species ever lived on only meat. I've read that asteroids. Do you not see my list, dude? I do rep work with like well over 500 on deadlifts, and I rep out through. I do rep work at 315 on the bench. What are you talking about? And I'm 48 years old. I'm an older dude. I'll be lifting like that every workout. I just put up my training blog for today. It's up. So no days without food. We ate. We always ate. What you mean is probably days without finding real meat. Polar bear lover. Polar bear lover. Why do you love polar bears? Oh, you made the profile today. I'm going to probably stop talking about gear and TRT in general in here. It's just not good. Will you continue to max weekly? I don't technically max now. I do rep work. I very rarely hit heavy singles at the moment, right? And so why would you stop doing hard rep work just because you're getting older? But exactly it. And Jason, your shoulder swing is really limiting your bench right now. Not so many benches. Well, obviously, Joe, we're very aware of this. Why do you think I'm training it? No, I use calibrated plates, and I have plenty of powerlifting meets. No, I don't ever do the Larson press. Luke says exactly, an untrained Neanderthal basically is as strong as a dad bod body, but they were slightly different species and lived a very physical lifestyle, right? We have the most muscle, but use it at least. Most people live in front of a screen ordering food for delivery, right? Would you consider doing Bulgarian light? I'm not doing it again. Do you think you'll be able to get your shoulder mobility back? I have to believe that I will. That's why I'm going to keep working at it. Have you noticed improvement since you've been working on it? I don't know. It's hard to say. You guys have to assess that based upon the rep work you see. Because it beat me into the ground. When I did it before, like the mental and the psychological and physical toll really accumulates, particularly the psychological toll. Most people are not built for that, and I'm built different. Most people are like, dude, you're built different, and even I am not built for Bulgarian light. So when I ran it before years ago, it got to a point where when I would wake up, the first thing I would think about when I wake up in the morning, dreading getting under a squat bar. That was the first thought every morning when I woke up. I don't want to squat today. Please don't make me squat today. But I was doing Bulgarian light. We have to squat. How long would it take an intermediate lifter to go from a 405 to a 500 squat? There's no set number. They may not ever reach it. Some guys do that in a year. Some guys work on it for 10 or 12 years straight and never reach it. Just telling you straight up, dude. Understandable. I found impressive how long and well you ran it, but I was thinking, man, you really need to dedicate your life to it and the focus for recovery. Now, granted, I was a drinker at the time. That was probably a factor in retrospect. But dude, like it's and it doesn't sound that hard. People are like, dude, you're just doing ramping up to one single. But day after day after day, month after month, you hit a training max on the squat every day. And it doesn't sound, it's not hard for a couple months. Like it's really not bad. Like the first 6, 7, 8 weeks, it's not bad. I would never run anything that Candido wrote. I told you guys Candido was going to break himself and he's going to break his people, and Candido broke himself. Did I not warn you? Now Candido can't even lift heavy. How much damage do you think at times you ran a lot of gear? I don't know. But I never ran a lot of gear. So Daniel, I think you guys are misunderstanding. My idea of a lot of gear is not the same as everyone else's, right? My idea, Jason Blaha's idea of high doses of gear is intermediate gear user amounts. What I consider really high doses, you go to any roid group, is like your third cycle. second cycle. What I personally consider to be high doses. Average NPC competitors' doses are what I call insane doses, like literally ludicrous insane. You shouldn't even be considering that. Who doesn't think that it's hard, the amount of full body fatigue from heavy squats every day, right? Now calibrate. I've just kind of said I don't even really want to talk about gear a lot in here. It's not good for my outreach. I notice when I start talking about it, the views and the algo kicks down. So let's not. I'm more than happy, though, to do consultations on Gear Talk for you guys. It's $100 an hour. I do a fair amount of them. Coach, what's up, Chad? Bulgarian works better if you're built to squat because of low back fatigue and very easily for taller lifters. Probably some truth to that, Joe. But yeah. No, I mean, when I was doing it, I was pretty strong because I was also doing Bulgarian with overhead press and stuff too. I got it to where I was overhead pressing 225 like 3 times a week after the squats and stuff. Weightlifters like squat too much, no idea why. Kind of the nature of their sport. The nature of their sport. Right? Hit that like button though, guys. The likes are a little low given the amount of comments and what we have in here. All right. Calibrate. I feel like a broken record. First off, my goals don't require more than a replacement dose. Number 2, I am about to be 49. My mother died at 47 of cardiovascular disease. My father has had 4 heart attacks. My father's father died at 55 of a heart attack. I kind of care about living. I'm very, very health and fitness oriented at this point in my life. Do you brace at the top of a deadlift or bottom when setting up? I don't think about it at all. I ratchet my whole body up tight. So do you brace? You should brace the whole time. You brace before you pull. You don't unbrace until you turn loose of the bar. Have you watched my deadlift setup? You should be ratcheted up so tight before you even grab the bar with the second hand. First hand, but when you put that second hand on the bar, you should be ratcheted up so tight that your girlfriend couldn't pull a pencil out of your ass with a tractor. You can't pass the pencil test. You're not ready to put your second hand on the bar. You might know you need to get your girlfriend to go get a tractor and test this. All right. Tony D says, I feel like one back squat, one front squat on top of the classic is enough. Should utilize legs, maybe. Hey, Tony, how many Olympic gold medalists have you trained, though, for weightlifting? I'm over 200 pounds, Calibrate. What do you mean to mess with my head? Dude, I'm walking around at like 210. Right? Does it bother you being smaller? Yeah, not worth a cycle. It really isn't worth it at this point. Oh, man. Coach, how likely do you think it is did an enhanced lifter to incline? Statistically pretty rare. Right? When I got off, I got small. The drill for squatting. I don't know about squatting, but definitely deadlifts as far as the tractor test. Bench press, we run the tractor test too. Definitely when you set up your arch and everything on the bench. That's a test too when I'm training someone in person to see if they're tight enough on their bench. When they go to set up, I go over and I'll bump their knee with my knee. And if I can move their leg, they're too loose. They're not ready to underact the bar. There was one beyond too brutal but effective coach in the 70s, 90-minute heavy work twice a day. Broke most people, fed them obscene amounts of D-bol and then a drill like 200 milligrams. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Wow, 210. Calibrate. You guys to be kidding. Dude's like, you look 140. Dude's like, You look 140. Yeah, bro. Okay. All right, bro. Oh, Jacob's called for a kapow when you celebrate. There's one kapow. Anybody else? Anybody else calling for calibrate to be kapow or to stay? How are we voting? Obvious troll is obvious. Defiant gives a kapow. You're pretty much out of here, bro. A little bit of shake and bake. Kapow, you're out of here. Hold on. Luke, I'll get to your point. Let me turn the volume back up here. You're talking about Coach Abijayev, right? From Bulgaria. Yeah. Thoughts on chest expansion, chest thrusters? They're silly, complete nonsense. Just a gymnasium floor of young men throwing on the video. Master Bruce, shake and bake. Yeah. Yeah, you're thinking of Abijayev, the Bulgarian Olympic lifting coach. The depot, that's crazy. The Anadrol, not necessarily, but we're not going to do beer talk. Anadrol has been prescribed at up to 500 milligrams a day in the U.S. before. Prescribed. That's cray-cray. Men have been prescribed up to 500 milligrams of it by American doctors for medical purposes per day. That's the most extreme end. $100 to $150 is normal prescription. Why is Alexander Leonidas telling people to vote? Because he's being crazy and ridiculous again. Okay. This is Alex going off on some other weird goofball tangent, just like his above the knee rack pull. I'm just being silly. My state of Ohio is considering whether allowing guns. I've got a problem with that. I am the most anti-gun control person you will ever meet. I don't even believe in background checks. Even I think that's not a good idea. All right. When Jason Blaha thinks a specific gun freedom is not a good idea, we at a point of we've gone a little cray-cray. Like, I live in a full constitutional carry state, and it's still a felony to carry into a bar. Right. Right. So, the state allows us to gather outside of our homes. I'm going to go see what's going on at the door. I'm not going to end the stream yet. All right. It was just a salesman. No, it was nobody. It was literally just a salesman. All right, next. The most I've ever given of something is a low dose of Anador for babies, extremely rare circumstances, but when given, certain types of stuff that's given. So people are unaware of that. That is prescribed to babies. Do you still post long form video on Facebook? Yeah. No, no, Daniel, they're all reels now. They changed their entire thing. I didn't care what he was selling. All right. Whatever exterior, like, no, get out of here. What's going on? So, next. Interesting change, dude. Lots of content. Wow. Cool, man. So, oh, yeah, something on the exterior. It was a legit salesman, though. But, like, bro. Yeah, we got a lot of content here now. Lots of vlogs, lots of training. No, I haven't eaten yet. Should you carry my piece of good? Right? Yeah, man. It's just how we do. I don't answer the door without a piece. Yeah, it's just how it is, man. Them's the rules. You actually show top under abuse survivors. I hope you're not trolling and it really did. And that you're not some troll. So, because I am very, very big on promoting weight training for abuse survivors. It's smart even if you never have to use it exactly. Hey, Daniel, it wouldn't matter where I lived. I actually live in a very nice area. That's just how it is. Bro, I could live in a neighborhood where every house was $10 million after I win the lottery, and I would still answer my door with a piece. All right. You don't see how abuse survivors and getting under a barbell to empower yourself and get stronger. You don't see how they relate. You have you watched Alex's nonsense chest expanders and chest crushers? Even says if you're natural, it looks like, oh my god. Oh, I watched your GPP vlog and was wondering why your grass is so. Kapow! You're out of here, Gutty. I'm gonna make you guys stop talking about my personal life. I'm just gonna ban. We're not even gonna warn anymore. I feel like I've given more than adequate warnings. All right. I got to go have a good one, man. Take care. Executive order action. We're just going to auto, even for people who have channel memberships, whatever, dude, just automatic. We're done. Um, hey, Mark, why do you want to talk about those things? Are you going to be that person coming in pretending to be asking questions about that again? Alex is espousing an extremely low protein vegan diet. He also looks unnaturally pale, like he hasn't been outdoors in a few years. Uh-oh. Yeah. Because I had a guy coming through here who pretended to be from an institute wanting to ask questions about that. So, and that's definitely not something I want to spend a lot of time talking about in a live stream to be quoted on and taken out of context. So, but I think it is about time for me to eat my breakfast. So, that's probably like Mark's 10th account. Yeah, Mark, you just outed yourself. Kapow! Next. Bon appetit. All right, guys. So, there you go, Daniel. You outed yourself finally, too. Kapow! And he's out of here. Yeah, you're kind of late. What do you think about Yates destroying my digital? I literally did a topic on it the other day. Check my titles. All right, guys. I'm going to wind this down, though. Love you guys. And I'm going to go eat my breakfast. We're out.